President, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues in the Senate and those watching the public, we are now ready to listen to the address of our Senate President.
To my esteemed colleagues in the Senate, the members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow public servants, distinguished guests, and above all, the Filipino people, good morning. Handa ang inyong Senado na harapin ang mga hamon ng ating bayan ng may linaw na layunin at agarang pagkilos. Naririnig namin ang hinaing ng bawat Pilipino at naunawaan namin ang bigat ng kanilang pang-araw-araw na buhay. Kaya ang bawat panukalang ating isusulong ay dapat magbigay ng konkretong solusyon sa kanilang mga pangangailangan at magbukas ng mas maraming pagkakataon upang makamit nila ang kanilang mga pangarap. Our work begins with the economy because no vision of national progress can take hold while families struggle to meet their basic needs. The Development Budget Coordination Committee reduced our country's economic growth forecast for 2026 from 5 to 6% to 3.5 to 4.5%. At the lower end of the revised range, annual growth would be the slowest recorded since 2009, excluding the pandemic. These numbers are not abstract. They translate into lower incomes, fewer job opportunities, and heavier burdens for families struggling to get by. This concern is echoed in the projections of the International Monetary Fund and the Asian Development Bank. The IMF reduced its 2026 growth forecast from 4.1% to 3.9%, while the ADB lowered its forecast from 4.4% to 3.8%. The most urgent point of concern, therefore, is getting the Philippine economy back on track. To this end, this Congress will prioritize legislation aimed at invigorating the nation's economy in support of this administration's objective. Furthermore, genuine economic recovery cannot be measured by growth figures alone. It must be felt in the things that really matter: affordable goods and services, secure jobs, and food on the table. The national budget is our most powerful tool for stimulating the economy. It is imperative that the 2027 national budget be passed on time. Its timely passage allows funding to reach critical services and ensures that new projects can begin as scheduled and meet their deadlines. The Senate also introduced significant transparency and accountability reforms in the 2026 budget process, including the live streaming of the bicameral conference and the uploading of all budget documents to the Senate Transparency Portal. These reforms must continue so our people can see that government is accountable and reliable. Kasabay ng maagap at masusing pagpapasa ng pambansang budget para sa susunod na taon, 5 pangunahing usapin ang tututukan ng inyong Senado. Mataas na presyo ng mga bilihin, maliit na take-home pay ng mga manggagawa, mahal na singil sa kuryente, kakulangan sa infrastruktura at transportasyon, at kawalan ng kasiguraduhan sa hanapbuhay. Anuman ang ating katayuan sa buhay, ramdam nating lahat ang bigat ng mga problemang ito. First, we will address the continued rise in food prices. Over the past year, the average price of regular milled rice, a staple in every Filipino household, increased by almost 20%. Upang matiyak ang sapat na supply at abot-kayang presyo ng bigas, bibigyan natin ng prioridad ang mga amenda sa Rice Tarification Law na kabilang sa mga prioridad na panukala ng LEDAC. Titiyakin din natin sapat ang reserbang bigas ng NFA habang pinoprotektahan ang kita at kabuhayan ng ating mga magsasaka. Pangalawa, sa ating tututukan ang perang na iuuwi ng ating mga manggagawa. Dito nakasalalay ang kanilang kakayahang mapag-aral ang kanilang mga anak, magbayad ng kuryente, at matugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng kanilang pamilya. Dahil sa mataas na inflation, nabawasan ang purchasing power o tunay na halaga ng perang kinikita ng ating mga kababayan. Ang halaga ng ₱100 noong 2018 ay katumbas na lamang ng 74 pesos ngayon. Kaya magiging prioridad ng inyong Senado ang Ginhawa Bill. Simple ang layuning ito, dagdagan ang take-home pay ng ating mga manggagawa. Sa ilalim ng panukala, ang kumikita ng hanggang 400,000 pesos sa isang taon ay hindi na magbabayad ng income tax. Tataasan din natin ang tax-free ceiling para sa mga bonus. Alisin din ang buwis sa overtime pay, holiday pay, night shift differential, hazard pay at service charge. Third, we will address the rising cost of electricity. Since December of last year, residential electricity rates in Metro Manila have steadily increased. By June, 4 months into the US-Iran war, consumers were paying as much as 14.50 pesos per kilowatt hour, up from 12.20 pesos during the same period last year. According to the recent Department of Energy briefing, the Philippines recorded the highest average electricity rate among ASEAN countries in June. These increases place an unfair burden on consumers and underscore the need for effective electricity regulation. Your Senate will work closely with the Executive and prioritize another LEDAC measure, the ERC Strengthening Bill. This measure will improve oversight, hold industry participants accountable, and ultimately protect ordinary consumers. The burden of high electricity costs extends beyond electricity. We also feel its effects in the transport sector, where our continued dependence on important petroleum leaves workers, commuters, and motorists vulnerable to events beyond our shores. The continuing effect in the Middle East has exposed the extent of this vulnerability. At the height of the crisis, diesel prices spiked to as much as 153.70 pesos per liter. The transport sector accounts for 49% of our country's petroleum imports. Your Senate will prioritize amendments to the Downstream Oil Industry Deregulation Act, another LEDAC priority measure. We will pursue greater transparency in the components of pump prices so that government can determine whether increases reflect global market prices and legitimate cost of unreasonable margins that should not be passed on the consumers. Fourth, we will focus on infrastructure. The fastest way to invigorate the economy is by accelerating infrastructure spending. Your Senate will prioritize the Master Plan for Infrastructure and National Development, or MIND Bill, another important LEDAC measure. It will establish a 30-year plan that will link and coordinate key infrastructure projects, including roads, airports, hospitals, and energy pipelines. This will help create jobs, attract investments, and drive long-term economic growth. Ikalima, tututukan natin ang pagpapalakas ng mga MSMEs. Tinalakay na natin ang ilan sa mga reformang isusulong upang mapababa ang presyo ng mga bilihin at singil sa kuryente, madagdagan ang take-home pay ng mga manggagawa, at mapabuti ang infrastruktura at transportasyon. Ang susunod nating bibigyan ng pansin ay ang pagkakaroon ng matatag at marangal na trabaho. Mula noon Mayo 2025 hanggang Mayo ng taong ito, mahigit 660,000 ang bilang ng mga Pilipinong nawalan ng trabaho. Upang maibalik ang mga nawalang trabaho at makalikha ng mga bagong oportunidad, kailangan natin palakasin ang mga negosyong nagbibigay ng hanap buhay sa ating mga kababayan. Kaya bibigyan natin ng prioridad ang mga amenda sa Magna Carta for MSMEs. Isa rin ito sa mga prioridad na panukala ng LEDAC. Mahalaga ito dahil 99.7% ng mga rehistradong negosyo sa Pilipinas ay mga micro, small, and medium enterprises or MSMEs. Hindi lamang sila nagbibigay ng hanap buhay sa milyong-milyong Pilipino. Sila ay bunga ng pagsisikap at pangarap ng ating mga kababayan mula sa mga negosyong minana sa pamilya hanggang sa mga nagsimula sa garahe o maliit na food cart. Anuman ang uri, mahalagang haligi ng ating ekonomiya ang mga MSMEs. Kabilang sa mga reformang isinusulong sa Magna Carta for MSMEs ang mas madaling pagkuha ng puhunan at credit guarantees, pati ang access sa shared services, machinery at technical support. Mabibigyan ang ating mga MSMEs ng mas maraming pagkakataong makilahok sa mga proyekto ng gobyerno. Pabibilisin din natin ang proseso ng pagbabayad sa kanila. Malaking bagay ito sa pagpapalawak at modernisasyon ng negosyo. Sa ganitong paraan, matutulungan natin makaraos ang mga MSMEs sa paghina ng ekonomiya para hindi mawalan ng trabaho ang kanilang mga empleyado. The 5 aspects we have discussed are closely interconnected. Reforms in one area have effects that ripple into others. Strong coordination is therefore essential to ensure that the laws we pass are relevant, coherent, and effective. Thus, I propose the creation of an ad hoc committee tasked with helping drive economic growth, create jobs, and make the cost of living more affordable for every Filipino. Strengthening our economy requires a concerted effort, proactive action, and reforms that will endure beyond a single administration. My fellow senators, these priorities touch the daily life of every Filipino. When these systems work, they create opportunities, lift families out of poverty, strengthen communities, and drive national progress. When they fail, they burden our people, close the door to their aspirations, and hold back our nations for generations. We will maintain our commitments and reforms to education, health, and social protection. These are also essential investments in the future of our people, vital components to our long-term growth, and meaningful response in times of natural disasters. We will give close and sustained attention to preserving the gains made possible by our historic 1.3 trillion peso education budget for fiscal year 2026, equivalent to 4.4% of our country's GDP. This gives us a genuine opportunity to pursue significant reforms in a sector that shapes the lives of Filipino learners and determines the future of our nation. Maraming pagsubok ang hinarap ng ating bansa nitong mga nagdaang buwan. Ngunit sa bawat hamon, patuloy na ipinapakita ng bawat Pilipino ang kanilang tatag, sipag at kakayahang bumangon. Let us build an economy worthy of the strength of our people, one where work provides security, daily needs are within reach, and the fruits of growth are felt in every Filipino home. Let us be a nation that fulfills our potential, where laws protect livelihoods, institutions safeguard our people's well-being, and the government delivers effective, consistent, and compassionate service. The task before us is urgent and clear. Let us come together as one Senate, one government, one people, and set our nation towards a horizon of progress for every Filipino in every generation. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang Senado, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.